The complete guide on how to bring your business online, creating and managing a content calendar. Keep in mind that content, generally speaking, comprises everything your company shares online, including ads, photos, and videos. Learn how to create a content calendar so you can carefully plan content and strategize on where best to place it and where to share it. Find out why organizing your business content is essential, as well as how to go about the process in a simple and efficient manner. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. Today we're talking about how to create and manage a content calendar. And this is if you want to switch your business from traditional offline into online, right? So first, let's talk about what is a content calendar. Everything you share on the internet on behalf of your business. I'm talking photos, posts, articles, videos, stories, and ads represent content. So a content calendar, if you think about it, is a way to plan and organize your social media posting schedule. Your content calendar will include what you will share, what you plan on, when you plan on sharing it, and where you will share it. For example, if you want to share a video, you have to say you want to share it at the end of the month, and you want to share it on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook only, right? So that will be, those three elements will be indicated in the content calendar. So what you will share, when you will share it, and where you will share it. Number two, let's talk about why you should use a content calendar. Whether you want to post on social media or elsewhere on the internet, you need a calendar because it will help you streamline the process. It will help you establish a process for creating content, so you know when you have to get into the studio or whatever your creative space is located. So it will help you establish a process for creating content. It will help you organize when, where, and how your content will appear. It will also help you share content consistently so customers and prospects have you in mind when they're ready to make a purchase. So the idea here is to bolster your brain, to give you that discipline, that perseverance, that resilience to constantly create, to have the process in place. Because once you have the process, all you need simply is execution. Okay? Now let's talk about what should you post. Creating and managing a content calendar means you have to know exactly what you're posting. Now, we are showing on the screen right now, there is a wonderful picture or illustration that we took from Facebook. And this is courtesy of Facebook, of course. And it is brilliant because it shows you what your content, the content that your audience seeks, and the content that's relevant to your business. And the content that you should post should be at the intersection, should be the common denominator between what the audience seeks and what's relevant to your business. You can see the little circle, the little area where it says inspiration for your content calendar. And this is brilliant because you will never match 100% what your audience is looking for, nor is what your audience is looking for relevant to your business. What if you can find the middle ground, if you can strike a good balance between those two elements, you are great. So as you consider what to share, you want to focus on the intersection of the type of the content, the type of content your customers enjoy, and the topics that are most relevant to your business. As you create your content calendar, please use these three themes. And remember this, the 3 E's: engage, educate, and excite. Let me break it down. You can choose to engage your customers. So you share the story of how your business got started, your vision, your mission, your history, your plans. You show how you give back to your community, your CSR, your corporate social responsibility schemes. You can take people on a virtual tour of your storefront or workspace using photos or videos. You can even involve your employees in the process. So some companies, for instance, they will have an open door policy or open door day where the public can see what's really happening behind closing doors. behind closed doors. What am I talking about? Behind closed doors. So the idea here is to engage the audience. You want to engage prospects, you want to engage customers, you want to engage everybody who might be stumbling upon your business. That's one category of content. There's one theme, one central theme you can use when creating content. Engage. The second is educate. You can choose through your content to educate. And in educational content, what you're trying to do is explain, for example, what makes your product or service different or special. This is what happens when you have all those manuals, those tutorials, those user guides, right? You have an equipment, and then you have a user guide that takes people behind the scenes at your stores or business. You can show people how to use your product or service. So second category, second theme of content creation, education. Third one, excitement. You can choose to excite people. You can choose to trigger some satisfaction, some joy, some enthusiasm, whatever it is, some engagement in them. You can announce a new product or service. You can share upcoming or current promotions or sales. You can also tell your community about events and new locations. Right? So those are the three categories of content creation models. And whenever you want to create content, think about which category that piece of content falls into. It will help you think about the kind of mindset you have to be in. Do you want to educate? In other words, you have to be serious. Do you want to excite people? Then you need to be a little more informal, a little crazier, if you will. Or do you need to engage them? Do you want them to vote? Do you want them to like? Do you want them to share? Do you want them to comment? Speaking of which, if you love the content we've just given you so far, if you love the clarity and quality of the content, please engage with us right now. Turn on the notification bell, subscribe to our channel, comment below, share this content, like it. All right. Yes, true. I kind of used that little excuse to sneak in our own engagement call to action, if you will. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still talking today about how to create and manage a content calendar. Number 4, when should you post? Now, as you create your content calendar, there are a lot of questions you need to ask yourself. When should I post? And what should I post? To answer that question, there are several ways. You want to ask yourself, when are your customers most likely to be online? When are you most available to post and monitor responses? And response monitoring is very important because we spoke earlier about engagement. If people reply to your post and you just don't pay attention to them, guess what? They're going anywhere. They're going elsewhere. They're going to your competition. So you need to be available to post and monitor responses to your post. Another thing you have to think about when you address the timing question is, what days and times are consistently optimal for you to post? For example, if you know your customers are busy professionals who tend to be online after they finish working for the day, and your business is busy on the weekends, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are just the operational days where you take care of the business, the behind the scenes operations, then you may decide that posting 3 times a day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, is just great for you, right? Now, one thing for sure is that when it comes to advertising, when it comes to engagement, when it comes to content, when it comes to promotion, remember the key rule is experimenting, right? Similar to what advertisers call A/B testing, you want to experiment with the time of the day, what works the most. You want to find out what works the most. So you want to post at various times in the early evening or an afternoon to try and catch your customers when they're online. Next, where should you post? You have to understand that sharing content on the internet with your audience is time consuming. So you want to make sure that you're sharing where your audience is spending time. You can ask your customers what social media platforms they most use. You can also learn from your competitors, right? Competitive intel is fantastic. You just have to spy on your competitors and find out what they're doing. So if a competing business has a presence on a particular platform, you want to create an account for your business there too, because they probably know something you don't know, right? And try to implement cross posting. In other words, you want to post the same or similar content on multiple channels. So after asking your audience what platforms they use, you may discover that most of your customers are on both maybe YouTube and Pinterest, Facebook, or Instagrams. The bottom line here is that you want to stick to 2 or 3 platforms, because unless you have the budget for it, the last thing you want is just be on all platforms and nowhere at the same time. So you want to focus your energy at first on 2 or 3, and then from there you can just move on. You can scale. Right? Now, the thing here is that consistency is very important. I mean, we're talking here about managing a content calendar, but you have to understand that you have to be consistent, because when you share content consistently, people are more likely to have you in mind when they're ready to buy what you're selling. So a content calendar becomes very efficient because it helps you plan and organize your social media posting schedule. Now, let's talk about why you should create a content calendar for your business. Because a lot of people are saying, well, I'm a small business. I really don't need to have a content calendar. I can do things. I can use reminders in my phone, and I can just run the business that way. You can just do it to a certain point. If you want to get more professional, you want to increase the likelihood of if you want to increase the engagement rates, you want to boost your brand in the marketplace, you're going to have to create a content calendar. And the content calendar can help you stay organized as you connect with your customers online. Now, those calendars come in various formats, but they typically include 5 key pieces of information. Now, if you need, we can basically send you the Sweetie Kiwi Show can email you a template that we have created. Just let us know. Just mention that in the comment section, and we'll just gladly send you a template. But you need to have, no matter the template that you have, you need 5 key pieces of information. You need to have the date. So when will the post be published? The theme. What is your post about, right? The theme is engage, excite, or educate, as I said earlier. The visual description, so you can include a short sentence or 2 about how you want your post, image, or video to look. The format. Remember that the posts that you put on the social media can have pictures, video, or a combination of the 2, so you can decide which you will create for your post. And the platform. The platform is where you intend to post the content, right? Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it. TikTok. All right. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're also having a conversation here about creating and managing a content calendar. And that's part of our series on how to bring your business on the internet. Now, why should you create content? You create content on social media because you want to tell your story. You want to engage your audience. You want to connect with new customers, and new customers are key. The key to expanding your business over time is to constantly acquire new paying customers. Now, social media content has 2 primary elements: text and visuals. So the visual is your photo or video, and the text is the caption that tells the story behind that photo or video. Now, let's give you a few tools here about how to boost your content. Your caption is an important part of every social media post. Let's just go over some tips that can help you write engaging captions here. Now, the interesting thing is you want to keep it short and sweet. You want to write a brief caption to catch people's attention right away. Remember, we live in a world where the attention span is going low, is lowering by the day, right? So you want to lead with the most important information first. Prompt people to act. CTA is key. Call to action. Be direct if you want your followers to act. For example, if you have a weekly newsletter, a fitting caption might be sign up. You want to use hashtags on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook or Pinterest or Twitter or TikTok. By the way, we have started a new series on TikTok. If you are new to the channel, you might want to double check those videos. They are very popular with our audience. They love them. And TikTok is a great platform to market your products and services. So you might want to check out our video series on TikTok. So you want to use Instagram. You want to use hashtags on Instagram, Pinterest. You also can look for hashtags, mentions, and tags that are relevant to your business and add them to your captions on social media. That way, people interested in these topics can find you, which is key to growing your audience and engaging communities you care about. Now, we are putting on the screen right now, there are three content themes that we are putting on the screen, and you can look at it. You can engage people, you can educate people, and you can excite people, right? And I've already talked about that. You can see it. If you want a copy of it, we can send it to you, and that can help you actually create your content calendar and create your content, right? And finally, you also want to add images, videos, or a mix of both for your post to have the probability of going viral. All right. So this is it, folks. Just wanted to recap to this conversation. A very short guide here on creating and managing a content calendar. I spoke to you about what a content calendar is, why you should use a content calendar, what should you post, when should you post, where should you post, and I also talked about what should you create a content calendar for your business, and what should you create content in the first place. All right, folks, thank you so much for your attention. I also wanted to give you a pro tip before I leave. Consider outsourcing the content production for big situation. If you have an important announcement, end of year sales, you can outsource it. But for everyday content, you can do it yourself. All right. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.